Some of my assets are over down almost 10% today. Certain sectors like risk on assets, quantum, and crypto are down 10%. Here's exactly what I'm doing. For the most part, I'm basically doing nothing. The sell-off of risk on assets in highly volatile environments usually could lead to a recession or a pullback later on. But it's really more of correlation than causation. Personally, the assets that I hold, even long-term assets or higher volatile assets like Bitcoin or Ethereum that are going to be leveraged more on the downside, I know are going to survive long-term. And I hold a lot of the S&P 100, Amazon, Google, S&P Global, MasterCard, a lot of safer assets as well. That's why I can comfortably hold these more volatile, risky assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum, knowing that in the long run, maybe from 5 years from now, even if we do take a dump this year or next year, or even tomorrow, I'll be safe and I have time to have my portfolio grow and even buy the dip. Versus somebody that's in a highly momentum stock or something that has a 500, 600 PE ratio. Or maybe trying to chase the next big thing, they're going to end up, one, dumping more if we actually are in recession because they risk on assets do dump out first. And if we are in a recession, then all the highly momentum plays that could be theoretically overvalued dump back to their fair value. And a lot of the companies that are running are pre-profitability, pre-revenue, which don't even have a tight PE ratio or tight valuation, which could lead to even sharper drop. Personally, I'm not invested in any of those companies, and with my portfolio, I'm pretty much fine right now. I always have a cash reserve in my emergency fund, which is 6 to 8 months of money for expenses. I don't really have too much expenses, so if the stock market does dip, last time Ethereum was down 66% in the last dip, so if it gets anywhere near those levels, I'll be putting in a few $1,000s to buy the dip. But right now, it's just a good idea to buy a dip smallly or just absolutely do nothing for my portfolio and chill. If you don't have faith in the business model or valuation or don't plan to hold on to your stock for the next 5-10 years, then there's no reason to hold it. Unless it's a very, very small position compared to your overall portfolio, you need to be holding long core portfolio assets. If you don't hold core portfolio assets, then you're basically trading or swing trading, kind of more similar to gambling. Getting in and out of stocks is cool, but it has worse tax implications. It's a lot scarier and a lot more volatile than just holding long term. Basically, one of the best ways I use to avoid all these scary short-term fluctuations is if I do a short-term play or something that's riskier, I allocate a very small amount of my portfolio to it. And a larger proportion of my portfolio into safer assets. That's going to be usually what safer is going to be larger. So for in crypto, I generally stay in the top 2, maybe 4 cryptos as a large cap crypto since they're going to be less volatile and they're already majorly adopted institutionally. Same thing with stocks. I like a couple stocks at Mag 7, and I generally stay in the top 500 stocks in the United States. And if I like a middle cap or small cap, I make it a small proportion.